Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD. And among other things, June is recognized as Vitiligo Awareness Month. And one of the things that we've been trying to do this month, and even moving outside of June, is to really talk about what vitiligo is, but also how it impacts individuals who are living with a condition. It's an autoimmune condition. We're going to talk to two very special guests today from this. We're excited to welcome Dr. Nada Elbuluk to our program, as well as Mary, who is living with vitiligo as well. Thanks to the two of you for the time and for sharing the information. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Dr. Elbuluk, I want to start with you here because one of the things we've been talking about this month on the radio side, and I've seen online conversations, is exactly what vitiligo is. So why don't we start there? Can you explain exactly what the condition is?
Yeah, it's a great question. So vitiligo is an autoimmune condition of the skin where an individual who's genetically predisposed to it essentially starts developing white patches, and that happens because their antibodies start attacking a skin cell called melanocytes. So we all have melanocytes. But in individuals with vitiligo, those melanocytes get attacked by the antibodies, and in those areas, they lose skin color, and they begin to develop these lighter areas.
So we know it's an autoimmune condition then, Doctor. How can it impact patients who are living with it?
Yeah, another great question. So it actually can manifest in multiple ways. So physically, about a third of people can have itching associated with their light patches. And the other profound effect, is the mental psychological component, which really can't be underestimated. So for people affected, it can really affect their lives in a profound way, and they really can feel very self-conscious of it, particularly when it's in visible areas.
Mary, I appreciate you being on with us and sharing a bit of your story. As I mentioned, you're living with vitiligo. What has your experience been like with the condition?
Yeah, so my experience is different as any others. It was a challenge, growing up. At first, you don't really think about it as much because you're young. I was diagnosed at 8. And at that time, it was just a little spot on my knee, and it hadn't spread, so I didn't think of it as it was going to spread throughout. It was going to be extremely visible. But once it did become that, it became harder to fully accept. I realized that I would stand out in the crowd. I stopped participating in physical education. It really affected me mentally. And I really had the help of my dermatologist. She had other resources, not only just medication, but ways to cope with the vitiligo itself.
So why has it been so important for you, Mary, to make sure that you're raising awareness and educating individuals about vitiligo?
Yeah, so it's really important to raise awareness because a lot of people have a misperception that vitiligo is only a cosmetic condition, like, you can cover it only by wearing makeup. And I did try multiple different types of makeup, airbrush makeup, semi-permanent makeup, and it didn't really change the way I still went home and I had to take it off, right? So it was more than just that. Also, as today I'm partnered with Insight to really raise that awareness because back then we didn't have the resources we did have now, but I'm able to speak about it and, be comfortable in knowing that I have resources and a dermatologist that can help me as well.
Yeah. So, Doctor, I want to ask you then, because I think a big part of this, what we've tried to do this month, is to not only share stories like Mary and others, but also to raise the awareness and the education. Where can our audience go for more information about this autoimmune condition?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Insight's created a wonderful website called gettoknowvitiligo.com, which has lots of great information on it. I'm also a board member of our Global Vitiligo Foundation, and they also have great information both for our patients and physicians.
And we'll be linking that website up for our online audience, gettoknowvitiligo.com as well. And Mary, last question for you, and again, really appreciate the two of you for being on with us. For our audience out there, if they know someone who is living with vitiligo or they are living with it themselves, what do you want them to know about the importance of awareness, but also sharing their experiences?
Yeah, so it's important to always understand that there will be days where it's hard to fully accept, right? It may be someone that you know or that you're going through it yourself. It's okay not to be okay. It's a long journey. It's a long process. It's a learning experience. You get some negative feedback. You get some positive feedback, but it's always great to reach out and know that there are resources that help you meet other people, that help me to kind of communicate through how I felt with vitiligo and how it is to live with it.
Well, Dave, such a great conversation, and glad the two of you could be on with us. Thanks to the two of you for the time. Really appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to do it. Hey, more than welcome. And again, that website for our audience is gettoknowvitiligo.com. Again, we will be posting it for our online audience, and for our radio audience here in Mississippi, we'll be sharing it on our Facebook page as well. And we thank you all for tuning into this episode of Conversations Live, a part of our Music and News segment here at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's go make today amazing. Take care.